What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. We're missing someone today. The amazing Kelly in Vegas is out on vacation. Is it Costa Rica or Puerto Rico? It's one of the two. I know she's somewhere tropical, probably having a great seltzer in her hand and just catching some rays. Meanwhile, me and the fantastic Chris Castellani did it right the second time.
You're
right?
2 for 2. You're 2 for 2 now. Yeah, you got it.
I'm getting better there. I mean, we're working on it. I'm still gonna
Yeah.
butcher some stuff. It doesn't matter. Anyway, wonderful Christopher is here. But just was talking to him about his newest project that he's going to be releasing,
Nah,
which is
damn it.
what?
Keep going.
What? Come on! It's exciting. You literally, it's your passion. You love Star Wars. You went and reviewed and gave everyone kind of like the 411 breakdown of like the best movies, probably some of the best scenes, probably some of the best plot lines. And I told you, a confession before the show, I have actually never seen Star Wars. So I'm actually super pumped for your review, and then maybe just like of a weekend, maybe a rainy weekend where I just like catch up on all the Star Wars I've missed throughout my life. Would you recommend that?
I think that would be great. I'm desperately yearning to hear your opinions on every Star Wars movie now. Yeah.
Desperately. So we'll catch you up on that. But hopefully the people are desperate to hear us talk about some baseball because look, I want to bring some life back into the sport. I feel like we need people to love baseball again, and maybe you and I are the combo that is going to take this sport to the moon. No pun intended. There is a game that's already started, which is Royals Cards. I actually have not seen any of this game, but I do know that the Cardinals are up 1-0, and we're pretty big favorites. They are in my parlay today, so I hope y'all out there have gotten in. It was Cards, it was Rays, and who was my third one? Cards, Rays, and who was that third one? I can't even remember now. I know my straight bets, but okay. Anyway, we have Royals, Cards, and they're up 1-0. I put them in my parlay personally because it wasn't necessarily I like Mats. It wasn't like, I wasn't like taking Mats to win this game. It was more kind of a fade of the unpredictable, unreliable Royals team and Greinke. Yeah. Greinke doesn't throw nearly as hard as he did 10 years ago. The Royals are they've dropped 8 of their last 10, 5 of their last 7 on the road. Just, again, very lackluster, if you will, here recently, and that's why I didn't love the Cards with the price that they were put up with, so I threw them in the parlay to try to create some value. So I'm really hoping that they can stretch this game out. As I said, it's second inning, 1-0. Chris, what did you think of this game before it started, and is it playing the way that you expected it to?
I think the Royals are a difficult team to bet on with Greinke on the mound. I think it makes sense that you put him in the parlay because Zach Greinke is an anomaly when it comes to pitching right now because he's still getting results. He's still, pitching relatively deep into games. But I think I just checked his Baseball Savant page. He's in, I think, the 2nd percentile in whiff rate right now, meaning like he just simply like that. Typically, a guy who's missing that few bats would have like a 7 ERA. Now he's crafty as hell. He has been, over the latter part of his career, but we're kind of getting to a point in the season where we're trying to figure out, if teams are real or not. Cardinals are good, and I like that offense, and Nolan Arenado has been red hot. So yeah, I mean, I would lean towards the Cardinals. I think that the Royals, with the exception of last April, still have a lot. I think they have some good young players. I like Bobby Witt quite a bit, but for the most part, I do think that there was some smoke and mirrors regarding some of the offensive performances that they got a season ago. So, I'm with you, including you had them on the spread, right?
Just the money line. I just need them to win. Yeah, they're in my parlay, so hopefully they can get it done for me. Up next, Angels, White Sox. You have Sandoval and Cease on the bump. And I took the Angels this game before I saw the lineup, and I'm not gonna lie, once I saw the lineup, I wasn't particularly thrilled. This Angels team has gotten relatively hot over the last course of the last couple of games. And meanwhile, the White Sox, they've just been just not great. They were not the White Sox that they were last year. I would bet Dylan Cease a lot last year. Loved him in the rotation. And look, he's still very capable of going out there and throwing a gem, but is he going to get any run support? And that's my issue here. I don't know if the White Sox, I don't know what's changed from last year to where they're just not nearly the mashing team that they were. And now you have the Angels, as I said, who are especially hot. And again, I took them plus the 110. I think they're now plus 125 since that lineup's come out. I do have Mike Trout in there, so I'm holding on to a little bit of hope in Trout. But we're missing a few big bats in that lineup, so I'm a little scared of this game. So if I would advise you, I would say stay away now that I've seen the lineup, but I'm committed. I'm in with the Angels today. Do you think that the White Sox are going to be capable of pulling off a win? Or do you keep riding with the Angels? You know, baseball is the streakiest sport. So ride with the Angels, or do you think Cease can go out there and actually get it done?
This is the one game today that I had the hardest time with because a lot of it is emotion. I'm a Tigers guy. I'm an AL Central guy. And Dylan Cease is a Tiger killer. He's 9-0 in his career against Detroit. So every time I watch him, I'm like, this guy's a Cy Young winner. Like, this guy's going to be amazing. And then I see him against other teams and he can't locate his fastball. The Angels are, we're reaching a point where I'm like, okay, are they actually good? Because they are in first place right now in the AL West. They're 14-8. They've played the White Sox really tough so far in this series, but I still have serious question marks about their pitching. And Cease is one of those pitchers who I feel like is difficult to bet on because when the command is good and the stuff that's never been an issue, but when he's locating his pitches, this is a guy who I think is capable of being like almost like a Cole in a way, like a guy who can strike out 300 in a season at some point. So this was one that even obviously it started, before we did the show, but I didn't put anything on this game because you have two pitchers and two teams that are at a point where I'm still not sure how good they are. Like I do believe the White Sox are still the most talented team in the AL Central, but they got to start showing it at some point.
What's happened to them though? I feel like they've just there's no spark. I feel like we had spark behind the White Sox last year. But it feels just dead. The White Sox this year.
I think injuries have a lot to do with that. I think that the pitching not falling apart necessarily, but Giolito I don't think is 100%. You've lost Lance Lynn for an extended period of time. It's a team that you feel like has the pieces, and yet they're not as good as the sum of their parts. Like I look at this should be like one-ups in baseball, and they haven't been. Even last year, they ran away with the division. I remember telling White Sox Dave on Redline, I'm like, this team should be better than they are, and they're a frustrating team because 100%. Of that.
I don't know what the deal is because again, last year, like if I'm not, cheering on my Astros, I loved jumping on that White Sox bandwagon last year. It was just like, it was so fun to, whether it was Abreu or who it didn't matter. They were just mashing. It didn't matter. But yeah, maybe I'm hoping they don't do that today and that the Angels lineup won't matter and that they'll just get it done for me. All right, up next we have D-backs Marlins, which Marlins are the second leg of my parlay that I forgot to mention earlier. You have Gallen and you have Lopez, and generally, I'm looking at the under in this game, but it was 6.5, and that to me is just that's a tough total to bet because at baseball you have your pitcher off just a little bit. And that total can get blown up within a matter of an inning. I mean, the Yankees scored like 5 runs, last game in the 6th inning. I don't know. I had them one of those days. This last 4-day stretch that I've had has kind of run into each other. Thank you to Brianna and Grace and the good people in Baton Rouge. But I do like the Marlins here. They just came off of that loss against the Mariners, 5-1, I believe, 5-0. I don't know. I have to go back and look. However, I just think the Marlins are rolling, and just kind of like the White Sox, the D-backs are not going to give Gallen any run support. I love betting on Gallen. I generally really do. I'd love to take a D-backs first 5 with Gallen. But if these D-back bats are not going to get going, I don't see how anyone is putting any money into the Diamondbacks right now.
I'm with you completely. It's funny because last week we had I think it was Cardinals Mets. I had the under until basically the last second, and it was 6.5, and it was 2-0 going into the ninth, and then the Mets scored 5. So I was really glad that I withdrew my under bet going into that game. I think I have a prediction that the Marlins are going to be a team this year very similar to what the Tigers were last year, which I don't think they're going to be above 500, but I think by the end of the season, pending health, obviously, they might have a top 5 pitching staff in all of baseball. They have some really good arms, and I like the additions they made with Jorge Soler and with Avi Garcia. Like, foundation laid for them to actually be competitive going forward. Like you brought up, we've brought it up on multiple shows now. The Diamondbacks offense is just nothing. I mean, they do not score runs. So I'm with you. I would take Marlins spread I take the run line at this point, because I think that this team, while not great, I think that there's a good chemistry there, and I think the arms that they have in the starting rotation are going to win them a lot more games than people think. I think they're going to suffer from the fact they play in a really tough division, but I don't mind that team, and I think they actually have a bright future.
I'm with you there, and I really like Lopez on the mound today. You like the run line. I think that I'm safe with the money line. As I said, I have Cards, Marlins, and then Rays is my last leg. So let's just hope that they can bring it home for us. Right now, the Cards game is still 1-0. So apologies again if y'all didn't get that parlay in. Up next, you have Twins and Orioles. And right now, I feel like these two teams just are heading in opposite direction. The Twins seem like they're just gaining momentum. Meanwhile, the Orioles are sitting at the bottom of the AL East, which, I mean, let's be honest, are they not used to that? No offense to Orioles, but that's where y'all are used to have been. I like the Twins. I lean the Twins this game. I didn't actually take them. I do like Paddock. It's just one of those games that felt like I either had to take the Twins run line, which I didn't want to do because I didn't know if they were going to come out hot today, or you back the Orioles. And right now, I'm not wanting to back the Orioles in any form or fashion, maybe besides a team total under. But what do you think of this game? And do you think I was right by staying away?
I think that's fair. I have the Twins run line here, and it's pretty. Poor RDT. Like, the Orioles are just so bad, and like it sucks because I do think they have a relatively bright future with their farm system, but I think the Twins a bit of a stretch where I think they're just feeling themselves right now. And Chris Paddock, who got off to such a great start with his career when he was in San Diego. Thus far this year, very small sample size. His pitch data is actually pretty darn good. His fastball velocity is, I think, in the 40th percentile. But other than that, like expected ERA, expected slugging percentage, like he's been pretty darn solid. And he was good last time out against the Tigers. And I think the Twins offense is they're capable of putting up a lot of runs. And I think they're even going to get better because Carlos Correa is not going to be this bad for the rest of the season. And yet you have Buxton, who's been hot, and you have Polanco, who's really good. So I think that this is a game.
He back Jacks the other day, didn't he? He was hot against. He went yard twice in the same game. He just was no. I think I had the other side of that game, which is why I remember it so well. Buxton is one.
Buxton at full health is one of maybe like 3 or 4 players in baseball who could put up a 10 WAR. Like, that's how good he can be, and that's how good I think this lineup can be. So yeah, I would lean towards Twins run line here just because I like that offense quite a bit.
And I'd agree. There's no way that Correa stays that bad. Maybe he's just missing Houston. Maybe he's just missing Minute Maid in the juice box a little bit, and maybe it's just a little homesickness, if you will. All right, up next, Yankees, Blue Jays. Let me go back and look at this line really quick because you know what? People love betting the Yankees. The Yankees are now minus 121. But I bet the Blue Jays earlier in the day. I believe it was plus 104 when I got it, maybe plus 102. I need to go back and look. And I get it. Look, the Yankees have been on an absolute roll. They've been on a tear. They have a boom or bust lineup that is absolutely mashing. Montgomery is a lefty, and Blue Jays haven't been really hitting lefties well. However, I do like this Blue Jays team today. Whether it's Espinal, Bichette, Vladdy, Lords, they can get to Montgomery, and I think it's going to be in this game. Not to mention, no offense to your Tigers, but the Yankees have been playing some cupcake series, and the Orioles.
Yes, correct. No offense taken. I watched that entire series.
All I'm saying is I truly think that the Blue Jays have been tested the last couple of series. And sure, maybe that's going to reflect and they come out and they're a little slow and tired, but I don't think so because this is a race for their spot. I think the Blue Jays know that this is a capitalization point to win this game over the Yankees. I love the Blue Jays in this spot. And anytime I love a game, I usually get my shit pushed in. So I would love to hear what you think about this game because I'm worried. I'm very worried.
I'm gonna back you up here though because I looked into the matchups. The Jays are as a team 15-50 against Jordan Montgomery. And that's an 880 OPS. Like Vladdy Jr. has killed him and Bo Bichette has killed him. You're right. Like the Yankees thus far this season over us, and even some of the big.
Uh-oh, looks like we might have lost Chris. Chris, are you still there? We're a little frozen. Usually this is on my side, but I'm not sure if it's on my side. Jack, can you let me know what's happening on the other side? Oh, there's Chris.
Are we good? Am I good? Okay.
We're back. Usually it's on my side. I'm happy that it's someone else this time.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
okay.
do not apologize. It's always my fault.
Okay. But no, I think that the Yankees thus far this season, a lot of positives because I think that there were many things people were kind of questioning coming into the year. I think thus far they've been very good. I've watched a lot of the Blue Jays. I think this is the best team in the American League. I think this is the best lineup in the American League. And I think that they're going to be a fun team to bet on because I think they're just going to score a lot of runs. And I like Montgomery. I like that sinker. I think he's come around over his last several starts so far this year. You know, he had some injury problems in the early stages of his career. But this is another one where I would take the Blue Jays run line because I think that even though Ross Stripling probably isn't going to go very deep into games, I really think the Blue Jays bullpen is rock solid. And Jordan Romano, so far this season, has been the best closer in baseball. I know he's pitched multiple days in a row, I believe, so he might not be available today. But I just like that offense a lot. And this is going to be, in the early stages of the season, this is a big series because I think these are the two teams that are probably going to be competing for the top spot in the American League East the rest of the year. But I would still go with the Blue Jays here.
Well, if you do like them to win by 2 or more runs, you can get that plus 195 at the Barstool Sportsbook. And right now, just straight up on the money line, they went from plus 110 now to plus 105. So maybe some money's coming in on the Blue Jays as we're speaking. Who knows? Maybe we're moving that money, Chris. All right. So Chris is backing me up on the Blue Jays, which makes my heart feel so good because, again, usually I am getting my shit pushed in on those games. Up next, we have Braves, Mets. We have Fried and Bassett on the mound. And we talked about baseball being streaky and who is hotter than the Mets right now. I can't tell you who. I don't have this game. I didn't want this game because when I looked at everything, I actually like the Braves. I respect Chris Bassett. I love what the Mets are doing right now. But I really like Fried. And obviously, we know that the Braves still have the potential within their lineup to hit home runs, to get guys on base, right? But I can't go against the Mets right now. And I like Chris Bassett. I think that he's a great arm. But I just like Fried that much more. So I guess if I did have a play, it would maybe Braves first 5. But I'm not sure. The Yanks have won 9 games in a row, and they literally their lineup is built to boom or bust. They're not. We can argue about that if you want, but you're literally already talked about the Yankees in the comments like 10 minutes ago. So we'll leave you there, Julian. But what do you think about this game, Chris? Like as I said, the Mets are just on fire right now. But I couldn't take them on the run line today. I liked Fried. What are your thoughts? I know you love pitching duels, so this is where you.
That's the one bet I would go with on this game is the under. Max Fried has been a slow starter in multiple points in his career, excluding COVID season, but he always comes around after kind of the first month or two. Has pitched a little bit better lately. I like Bassett as well. I have a hard time just like betting the money line or the run run line for either one of these teams, but I'm going with the under. The Mets have a really good juju going. Like they're hot. It seems like they're buying into Buck Showalter's culture. Last night, like Scherzer didn't have his best stuff and they still popped the Phillies. Like I think that this is a really good baseball team. And 6.5 for the under does scare me. This is probably one of my bigger risks of the day. But I also think that the Mets offense is due for something of like a not a slump necessarily, but they're not going to be going 5+ runs every game. So I think that this pitcher's duel, I like Bassett quite a bit. I think he's really crafty. I think his stuff has actually gotten progressively better, weirdly, over the last several seasons. So the one bet I would have is the under here. It's a risk, but I like both these pitchers quite a bit. So that would be my one kind of recommendation, is go with the under.
What do you think about a no-run first inning? Let me go see what that's at right now. Because now if you like the under at 6.5, I always like to hear, I mean, it's probably juiced to all hell if I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take a second. But what do you think about no runs first innings in general? Do you think those are kind of like a silly bet, or are those, since you do like pitching matchups, are those things that you can find value in?
It's not a silly bet, but it's a risky bet because pitchers are weird. And I've seen many times where a lot of pitchers, even the best pitchers in the world, have very difficult starts to games. I remember growing up watching Verlander pitching with the Tigers, and he would have these first 2 innings where it's like, he doesn't have it tonight, and then would shut people down. I think first inning runs is always a difficult one because some pitchers, it takes them an inning or two before they really get their stuff. But with these two guys on the mound, for this game, I would actually say no. And I know that's I'm betting the under for the overall game, but I think that given the way the Mets have been swinging, I could see them getting off to like a 1-2 run inning to begin. But I do think Fried ultimately settles in.
Well, that's interesting because if you do like a yes run first inning, that's plus 112. So you can get the yes run first inning for plus 112 over at the Barstool Sportsbook. So there's not a play on the side here. You just like the under. You're gonna just throw that 6.5 out there. That's brave, Chris. You are a brave soul taking 6.5. I will say that.
Got to roll the dice a little bit at some point. Yeah.
I mean, it is gambling after all. You do have to roll the dice. All right, up next, we have Mariners, Astros. You have Gonzalez and Odorizzi. And I've mentioned a couple of times that I don't necessarily love taking the Astros with Odorizzi on the mound. But guess what? He pitched one of his best games last time out. I'm getting them for a good value. I got them at minus 125. It's been up and down all day, and that's down to minus 129. The Mariners are coming off that tough series in Miami. Anyone's been to Miami, whether it's the sun, the humidity, the clubs, you're going to be tired leaving Miami. I know the Astros were on the road up in Toronto too, but they got to go home and sleep in their own bed. So I'm liking Houston in this matchup. I do like the Mariners, however. The Astros obviously are my team. They haven't had a great start to the season. They're a slow starter. But they had losing records in 17, 19, and 21. And you know what happened those 3 years. So we got to keep on backing the Astros. I know everyone in the comments, they don't know what pitch is coming. Look, guys, hush. Beyond that, I still like the Astros here. I'm getting them at a good price. So I like them on the money line. And again, I don't love backing Odorizzi, but man, congratulations, dude. You had a great showing last time out. And I'm ready to see what he's got today. What do you think, Chris?
I don't just have him on the money line. I have him on the run line as well.
Let's go, baby.
Because so far this season, the data against this Mariners team is actually good. The Mariners as a unit are 778. That's a 218 average overall against Odorizzi throughout his career. And even beyond that, there's 2 reasons why I'm going with him on the run line. One, I've stated before, for the last 5-6 years, nobody plays better after a loss than the Astros do. The Astros play really well when they're pissed, and they just had a very tough series against the Blue Jays, where they lost 2 out of 3. But even beyond that, Marco Gonzalez, who's a pitcher I like, but he's a pitch for contact guy. And this Astros team, in 143 at bats, a 329 average against Marco Gonzalez. And it's only a 790 OPS, meaning that they haven't hit necessarily for a ton of power, but they're putting the ball in play, which is what you have to do against a pitch for contact guy. So I'm leaning Astros here. And that's coming from somebody who's really big on the Mariners so far this season. And it's going to continue. They're a really good team, but I think they're coming off of a tough series, as are the Astros. I just think the Astros are going to be a little angrier, and the data suggests that they're probably going to come around here and win this game.
Small ball until we win. I like the Astros as well. Let's just keep on rolling, Stros. So we got something to prove. Apparently, last year and the year before didn't prove it, so we got to just keep on keeping on. All right, last game on the board: Rays, A's. And this is the last leg of my parlay. I like the Rays. I understand that they've just got off of a series as well, but the A's, man, their bats are so cold. I have not seen. I mean, we're talking about the Diamondbacks and the White Sox not having any run support. Watch me butcher this. Is Rasmussen? Did I kill that? It was awful. Rasmussen.
I feel weird. I don't know. I've never I've never heard his. I've seen him pitch. I've never heard the name pronounced before.
I think it's correct. But yeah, the Rays are the last leg of my parlay here. We obviously know that the Rays bullpen, it is what it is, and it has been what it has been. It's very reliable. And again, this A's team can't seem to put the damn bat on the ball. Again, and with my parlays, if the parlay loses, whichever legs you do hit, you get $10 back. So that's why my parlays kind of seem a little square, if you will. But I'm trying to find y'all teams that will literally win you back money if this whole parlay doesn't hit. So if you put $25 down, it's a 3-leg parlay, and 2 of your parlays win, you essentially make all your money back. So it's kind of risk-free here. So I like the Rays. It's not anything in particular besides that I'm fading the A's. Chris, you seem like you kind of agree with me on just the A's just being so cold. What do you think?
Their record is not a reflection of how bad they are. The Oakland A's have a remarkably untalented roster, which is the result of what happens when you trade away all of your good players in a year and a half stretch. I think that they just got swept by Cleveland. It's not a good offense. And while I think I feel like I'm going to end up looking like a fool here, I think this is the year where they'll actually take a step back. I don't think that they're going to be a 90-95 win team going to compete and win the World Series or compete for the World Series like they have over the last several years. But as you said, the A's don't make contact and they strike out all the time. And it's going to be, we saw this in the mid 2010s after they traded Donaldson. It's part of their rebuild, and I'm sure they'll get back to it. But I don't trust this team right now. And the Rays, even though I feel like they may take a small step back compared to where they've been, it's still a competent roster. So yeah, I'm with you on the Rays run line here.
All right, so that's all of the games that we have today. It's a pretty small slate. What is it, 8-9 games?
Yeah.
All right, so again, if you didn't get that parlay in, it was Cardinals, Rays, and Marlins, and then I had the Angels, the Astros, and what the fuck else did I have today? This is one again. I'm getting back in the groove, guys. This is and the Blue Jays. It's my favorite play today. And that's again scary. I'm very scared. But no worries. Sandoval's up here just throwing balls to everybody. So maybe that was a game that I'm just completely wrong on. Chris, you got anything else that you want to talk to the people about, or any other fun facts to tell the folks out there?
I don't think so. I think I'm all fun facted out right now. I don't think I have much else to add.
No worries. I appreciate you being on and helping us guide through this card today. I love all of your advice per usual. And we'll see you back here next Monday to make people love the game of baseball again.
Thank you.